What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And I just got done eating some bomb-ass Waffle House. And in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about Stellantis and why they are watching intently on the big, beautiful bill. Everybody is so mad that Tim Kuniskis is back. And, you know, they're talking about the new CEO and brands that could be cut. And why aren't there V8s yet? Why aren't there Hellcats yet? And let me explain to you really quick. It's the government's fault. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. I'm going to warn you in advance, you're probably going to hear my radar detector while we're rolling. But, so I saw a couple of comments, yesterday where people were like, well, why isn't Tim releasing these V8s yet? Stellantis wants to get back to V8 to Hellcat everything. Legitimately. Like, the board of directors, even some of these Euro, dare I say, retards, are at the, the path, the crossing of paths where they realize we made way more money when we were able to offer Hellcats and the like. And that is a fact. So how do they remedy this situation? What are they going to be able to do to fix it? Well, if you remember a while back, I did a video and there's a clip in there of the president saying, the reporter asked about whether, the chairman of Stellantis, John Elkann, was asking for tariff relief. And the president said, no, he's asking for emissions relief. Remember that? So that's true. John Elkann has asked over and over again, and believe it or not, for the first time, I think, since maybe 2016, 2017. This is pre Elkann, by the way. Pre Stellantis. I mean, they're trying to horsepower their way out of trouble, and it's a smart plan. It's a very smart plan by Stellantis. Right now, they're just holding. They haven't announced. They had products that could have been announced 2 months ago. They're in a holding pattern. They're literally waiting because one of the things that's in this big, beautiful bill and some of the amendments that came through was like useful life on emission systems and rolling back. And remember, originally they said the president said, yeah, we're looking at rolling back emissions to 2020 or whatever, right? And then I sent that email to the White House, and we got the email that said that is just a starting point. Well, in some of these side deals, as was talked about by the congressman in that hearing, some of those side deals are to roll emissions back to 2007. What does that mean? It means that Stellantis wouldn't have this gas guzzler tax, a bunch of this other crap that makes it cost so much money that they have to pay for not meeting these standards on emissions. And if they roll it back to that, Stellantis could literally, in I think 12 to 18 months, take over the horsepower wars. And you guys remember what happened. I mean, I know massive YouTube channels that were started when the Hellcat came. What was it, 2015? Or was it the model year 2016? I believe it was 2015, right? When the Hellcat was coming out, the Challenger. Man. So this is why I'm trying to tell you, like, you're going to see some, if the government can get off its ass and get things done, Stellantis makes a massive comeback. I mean, this passes, emission gets rolled back to 2007. And again, I have to say this, not financial advice. I only can tell you that I will be buying a ton of the stock because I know what's going to happen. They're going to V8 and hellcat everything. Everything. And they may not even call it a hellcat engine. They may call it a Banshee engine. They may call it something else. And it may have more horsepower. And it may make the cars from 2015 to 2023 look lame as hell. And I only can tell you this because this has been discussions. Like, this is the first time, I think, in a long time, like, Stellantis went from we want to EV everything to how much money can we spend? What lobbyists do we know? Who can we pay? That's literally where it's at right now. Who can we pay? And literally, Tim Kuniskis is sitting on his hands right now because he's like, there's multiple products. I mean, do you think they wanted to come out with the Midnight Edition Pentastar V6, talk about this is the budget-friendly option? Hell no. They want these emissions to get cut so it's cheaper to make these trucks, right? And they want to put big V8s, hellcat, everything. Now, they're going to make V6 options because everybody doesn't want a V8, and they just want a useful truck that they can, drive every day, and they don't care about a V8. That's fine. I understand that. V8s are not the end-all, be-all, or for everybody, right? I get that part. But I also understand that you got to have that stuff. So, I know you hate me saying this, but all I can say is be patient. The big, beautiful bill has come out of the budget committee. There are amendments. There's other stuff they're in this thing called resolving differences right now. I've already talked about this. I know that there's some YouTube channels that are out there that are like, I've read the bill. There's nothing in there about emissions. And clearly hasn't taken a class in civics or doesn't understand how Congress works. But once the final version is passed, those emission standards are set in there. And don't get it twisted, Duffy's already rolled back the CAFE standard. That's one of the huge things. I know this for a fact that, I don't want to say what brands, but there's a couple of executives at Stellantis right now of brands that we love that are literally like, we want to do this. We want to like hellcat everything, but we have to get these CAFE standards pushed back. We have to get these emissions pushed back. People can't drive, man. I love people that road rage for no reason. It just warms my heart. As I just look at them in the car and just, hi. I think they're so sweet. It's so awesome. Anyways, like I said, it's not all on Stellantis. They're literally waiting for the government to do their job and to get this stuff passed. The second that happens, I know this because I've talked to the people that I talked to at the very top, and I've had a conversation with an executive this week where they were like, we could tool up and have products like presented by SEMA and be rolling them out by the first quarter of next year. And they're like, hellcat everything. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.